move. The stock market a bit tumultuous of late, and in fact it's been hundreds of points here and there going up and down. It's leading to investors making mistakes that could have drastic consequences on their futures.
The keys to surviving that stormy market are relatively easy. That's at least according to our financial expert, Andy Mattingly. He's in the studio today to talk a little more about this. So I want to first talk about investors. How do they, if they're successful, handle kind of that chaotic market?
Well, I think they have to remember, the rule number one is not to follow the market on a daily basis, or even worse, following their own individual portfolio on a daily basis, because market's going to go up and down, and what you lose today, you could get back next month or next year. So you don't want to follow it all the time.
All right, so what are some of the mistakes people will make when things are going like this?
One of the biggest mistakes people will do is they'll want to get out of the market, which ends up happening is that they sell low and then they get back in when the market starts going up, and so they're buying high and they miss that opportunity. They've had losses. If they just wait, they can recoup those losses. Or maybe they'll change their portfolio holdings or something like that. You really just need to stay the course.
So you're touching on this. What should people consider when investing?
One of the things that they need to make sure, when they're considering to investing, is to make sure you look at the types of things that you have in your portfolio or your holdings, so that you know what's in there and what kind of risk that you can have, and you have to be able to make sure you can understand that risk. So you don't want to chase a high return, because there's probably going to be downturns as well with that.
Is there a way to lessen your exposure to the downturns?
Yeah, one of the big things is to have a kind of a diversified strategy. So you invest in a lot of different things. Some that maybe have a higher risk and a higher return, and some that have very low risk but a lower return, and you can balance that out. And even in a downturn, there are some mutual funds or stocks that may be winning strategies right now. So you have to kind of look at that.
All right, there might be some investors out there that are saying, okay, I'm not quite there yet. Andy, how can you make them feel more comfortable?
I think the biggest thing is to get an advisor, because an advisor can really help you put together a portfolio, and then it's someone that you can call besides your neighbor or your best friend to say what your advice is, that they'll call and calm you down and say, here's why we put your portfolio together, and yeah, you're going to take some losses, but when the market goes up, you're going to do better than other people. So I think professional advice is always a good strategy.
All right, professional advice, Mega Millions or Powerball?
No, I'm not going to answer that one.
I'm not going to be put on the spot, huh? Thank you, Andy.